Hi everybody, this is Angelique coming to you live from the Shoe Chick Art Studio in fabulous downtown Las Vegas. How are you? My microphone's doing funky things, like it's got a mind of its own today. I hope you can hear me well. Today we are doing the Wings of Hope. Wings of Hope. So let me see if I can get this thing on here right. I think it might be backwards. Hold on. It's like doing all kind of weird, funky things. Okay. We're going to go with this. Okay, so, the Wings of Hope. And this is like bittersweet for me. It's October. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Actually have a friend right now that's in the midst of her battle. I don't know anybody that doesn't know anyone that's been or hasn't been touched by cancer or breast cancer in some way. So my heart goes out to you, those of you who are in the midst of your battle, those of you who have lost loved ones. So cancer sucks. It just does. I've used this painting a lot for fundraisers. So I've helped raise money for different organizations to help those that are in the midst of their fight and that kind of thing. And also, I have this available as a print, and it says Wings of Hope on it. And it's just kind of a nice pick-me-up as a gift to someone that maybe has been recently diagnosed or is in the midst of their battle. My friend has one of these prints, and they're $25 if you're interested. I can send one to your loved one. So, or you can paint this one and give it to them. So we're going to paint together today, of course. I'm going to take you 99% through this painting, and then you're going to finish the rest on your own. This painting is fairly simple. This tutorial is going to be a little short, maybe 30, 40 minutes. It should take you really a couple hours to finish this painting, because I'm not going to take you through every little tiny dot, right? So, anyway, have fun with it. Unpack your tools. Make sure you put your apron on. You have a plastic apron, which I just ripped this one that I usually use. I love lives because you never know what's going to happen. But is this an apron? No, that's not an apron. Okay, so you have an apron in your kit that actually goes over your head and it ties in the back. So that's what this plastic apron is. Make sure you put that on. We're painting with acrylic paints today. Acrylic paints wash very easily off your skin, not so easily off your clothes. So if you're concerned about your clothes, wear your apron. That other plastic thing I had is the bag that your kit came in. Now, it might look like an ordinary trash bag to you, but you can use this bag to protect the surface that you're painting on from the paint, right? So use the bag, or put it on the floor if you're trying to protect carpet. Also, on the back of your canvas, there is a backing on the back so your canvas will stand up. So on the sides, you push the sides up, and then you push this flap down, and it kind of clicks into place, okay? So it should look like this on the back of your easel, so that on the back of your canvas, so that your canvas will stand up on the table. So this is called a disposable easel. When your painting is complete, you want to take this off so you can hang your masterpiece on the wall, okay? So that's what this is on the back of your easel, on the back of your canvas. If you don't like it, don't use it. Just paint like flat on the table if you want. Totally up to you. This is your masterpiece, so you can do it any way you want, okay? So, first of all, my name is Angelique. I am the Shoe Chick. When you paint with me, kids in Africa get shoes. That's the name of my studio downtown, the Shoe Chick Art Studio. My YouTube channel is called Angelique Paints. You can email me at angeliquepaints@gmail.com with any questions or anything you might have, or just comment here. Please make sure you subscribe. Just recently hit over 100 subscribers, which I'm so excited about. Like, people are excited about millions, right? I'm excited about 100. It's all good. I just started this YouTube channel and these tutorials at the very start of the pandemic when I lost all of my business. So I love to do the virtual thing. And I continue to do virtual parties today in Las Vegas. People pick up kits all the time and paint with me live. So enough about me. Let's get into the painting. That cup that you have in your kit, please fill it with water, at least halfway, maybe even 3/4 of the way. And then I'm just going to go through your kit real quick. You have all your materials in there. You have a sucker, because I just think it's fun. It's 70 calories, if you must know. People have asked me that. So You can tell I'm overweight because I'm totally annoyed by that. But anyway, there's 1, 2, 3 paintbrushes, a piece of chalk in your kit, a highly absorbent blue paper towel. There's also a little promotional material in there where it's all about all the paintings and kits and stuff I have available. Take a look at that if you'd like. And then there's our reference photo. That's what we call this in the art world, a reference photo. Now, let me tell you about when you paint with me. Please don't be obsessed with creating this painting exactly like that, because that's not the objective. The objective is to have a good time. This is art. This is a representation of who you are in the moment. I can't even paint this picture the same, exactly the same, and nor do I want to. So I'm just going to come a little close to this. I'm going to come very far with not finishing it. Like, I'm going to give you the entire lay of the land, and then we work out all the details, okay? So, anyway, this is for all the OCD people that are going to be obsessed with every brush stroke and every little dot on there. This is for you, all right? So keep it handy. Reference photo. I do refer to it a little bit, but not a whole lot, okay? So, what else? We got our paints, we got our sponge brush, we got 2 different brushes, a flat tip square one, and a detail brush. That's basically for all the fun details in there. And we have a sponge brush. I don't usually paint with a sponge brush, but for the paint kits, it just seems it's more economical for me to keep the prices down. If you're going to paint with me on a regular basis, I'd recommend buying some nice paint brushes. But this does the trick. So let's get into it, y'all. Now, you might think, oh, she's going way too fast and stuff like that, but you know, I am on YouTube, so you can pause me. So before y'all put all those little comments in there and tell me that, just pause it. I watch tutorials all the time. I can't keep up. Because you might even want to watch it all the way through and have some drinks and stuff, and then paint. There's an idea. Then you'll have an idea of what we're going for, or the approach, or how we do this, okay? So the first thing that we do, light coat of water. I'm going to take that sponge brush, I'm dunking it in my water cup, and I'm putting a light coat of water on my canvas. And guess what? I'm not too worried about washing off those trace lines, because they're a little bit more than just pencil. So they're not going to wash right off, okay? So light coat of water everywhere. Not a whole lot. We don't want it dripping wet. And if it is dripping wet, you have that highly absorbent blue paper towel in your kit, and you're just going to dab it a little bit. So I'm like done with the water already, because I can see like, well, I'm going to put a little bit more. Taking my sponge brush, and I'm putting a little bit more, because the canvas is pretty brittle. What we're doing is we're priming the canvas so it's ready to accept paint. Like if you're a professional artist, like they use other materials like gesso, or sometimes they just paint it all white. But in this case, in the paint party world, we just put a light coat of water to keep it simple. Then we're going to do the background first. You only have 3 colors. I think this is so fun to do, because you only have 3 colors. So we're going to do the background first, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the lids. So take the lids, hopefully you're already done this. You've already done this. If you haven't done this already, you're probably going to want to put me on pause, because you got to take all the lids off, all that tape and everything, and get all ready, okay? I'm going to scoop a little bit of white paint out in my tray and a little bit of black with the back of this paintbrush right here. It's going to get messy, so I'm scooping a little bit of white first in my paint tray, and then I'm just going to pour a little bit of black in my paint tray. I don't think I need to scoop it out. If you do need to scoop it out, you need to wipe off the back of your paintbrush with your blue paper towel, okay? So this is my blue paper towel. I have white on the back of my brush, so I'm going to wipe it off so my hands don't get all yucky. Or maybe you like it yucky. I get kind of messy when I paint, so I don't mind it too much. Alright, so look. I'm going to move these so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Which helps, right? So I got a little bit of black and a little bit of white there. I'm going to make gray for the background. So I'm going to dip the corner of my brush in the black, and I'm going to mix it in the white till I get the desired level of gray that I want. Now let's say you make it too dark. You're just going to add a little bit more white in it. It doesn't take much black at all, okay? So what I'm going to do with this gray is I'm going to outline my butterfly. Outlining it right on top of the chalk lines, those trace lines that exist, okay? right on top of the trace lines, because we don't want anybody to know that we traced it. And then I'm going to, I have this fan on and it is drying up my paint quick. Acrylic paints dry really quick, so I gotta make me a little bit more gray, because I didn't make enough. And I got this fan going. And I am gonna paint the background in gray with my sponge brush, still using the sponge brush. I'm even gonna paint the sides, and that's called wrapping your painting, so that when you hang up your painting, it'll look finished. You will not even need a frame, okay? So, with this sponge brush, I am filling in the entire background gray. Alright, and I'll play a little nondescript music so my video doesn't get tagged. So, yeah. Just a little music here. If your paint's a little sticky, just add a little bit of water on your paintbrush. It actually helps it flow a little bit better too. Just a tiny bit of water. Make it a little bit more gray. That'll make enough. I'm putting a little bit water on my brush so it flows a little bit better. All the brush strokes don't have to be the same way. I'm doing horizontal ones here. Mine doesn't look like anything fancy, right? So this is Paint Party 101. I try to keep it really simple, okay? So, a little bit of water on your paintbrush if it's sticky or the paint's not flowing the way that you want. Okay. Easy peasy, right? You might want to pause me at this point if everyone's not with me. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to paint the wings fuchsia or pink or magenta or whatever you want to call this color. I'm just going to call it pink, okay? And I'm going to work with the pink right while it's in this container. I'm not going to pour it out onto my tray. So I'm using my flat tube paintbrush, the one that looks like this. I'm going to dip it just a tiny bit into my water. And I'm going to go into my little cup of magenta. And I'm going to outline my wings. Outlining my wings. And then I'm going to paint the wings in magenta. Pink. We said we're going to stick with pink, okay? So, it's going to take a while. I'm going to go pretty fast. You might want to pause me, not sure. But I am just going to paint in each of these wings. I am outlining the breast cancer ribbon, but I'm not going to paint that in yet. Okay? And there's a reason for that. I wanted there to be some contrast between the two pinks. So I'm going to paint each of these in. I'm going to go fairly quickly. So again, you might want to pause me, not real sure. I'm just painting them in using the flat of the paintbrush. And a little bit of water if it gets sticky, okay? I'm going to play my little weird music I got going on. Alright. Let's see here. Painting the wings using a little bit of water if my paint's not flowing right. A little bit of water because my paint's getting a little sticky. Using long brush strokes, kind of following the direction that the wing goes in. One last wing. By the way, the Wings of Hope is an Angelique original. Sometimes in the paint party world, we're really bad at copying other people's artwork. Some paintings are just kind of paint party pictures that everybody does. But this one right here is an Angelique original, so you won't find it anywhere else. If you find it anywhere else, they copied it from me. But I love the butterfly because it represents so many different things. And no two butterflies are alike, right? So, brings me to my next step. Putting the design in the wings. Okay, once we get that pink down the way we want it. And remember, don't forget to paint the sides of your canvas, so I hope they're gray. And if you want, you can extend the pink over to the sides if you want. Totally up to you. So it looks like the wing kind of comes around to the side. Totally up to you. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about there, let's see if I can do this without knocking everything over. If you paint the side, if you carry the pink along the side, it looks like that. It looks kind of cool. So I love doing that on a lot of my paintings. So, okay, so we want to start creating some of the design work inside of the wings. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make a lighter pink. So I'm going to scoop some white out into my tray with the back of this paintbrush and wipe it off. Wipe off the back of my paintbrush with my blue paper towel, because now it's messy. So I'm going to take that blue paper towel and wipe it off. I still have pink on this. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to mix a little bit and make a lighter colored pink. Just like we made that gray. So I made a lighter colored pink in my mixing tray. I'm going to use that light colored pink and I'm going to fill in my ribbon here, my breast cancer ribbon here. So I can see it, the contrast, and it kind of stands out a little bit, right? I don't really want any white space between the two colors. So I'm really going to maybe even change the shape of my breast cancer ribbon a little bit. You can look at the reference photo and see how you want to shape it. I don't try to trace them exactly the same because everybody's different. You got to put your little creative edge on it, in my humble opinion. Art is a representation of who you are in the moment. So all of our paintings should be different because we're all different. From moment to moment. And that's why I don't even try to make the painting the same. So now since I have my light colored pink in there, I'm going to carry light colored pink all throughout. Ooh, that was too much white. Even though there are mistakes, I don't want it that way. I'm going to put a little bit more pink over it. And what I'm doing is I'm just putting some fun brush strokes of light pink everywhere in every wing. And you can lighten up that pink or darken it up by just adding more fuchsia over it. Okay, pink over it. So it looks kind of streaky right now. So I'm going to add more pink. Kind of mellow it out a little bit. And maybe even a little bit of water from my water cup if my paint's getting sticky. So I'm putting more pink right over that white, kind of lightening it up a little bit. Now, if you look at your reference photo, there's some gray going on, right? So you remember how we made gray, right? I'm swishing I'm resting my brush in the water right now because I'm going to make more gray. I have white in my tray and I'm going to make more gray if your gray's all dried up. You already know how to make gray. Dump a little bit of white in your tray and a little bit of black and make gray in your tray. I'm swishing that paintbrush I was using with pink, I'm swishing it around in my water and I'm wiping it off on my paper towel. Then I'm going to go into the gray. And I am just randomly putting gray. And if you're really concerned, you can look at your reference photo and see how the gray is placed. So I'm just going to randomly and have fun with it. And put some gray here, and then we're going to do a little patchwork, like a little tic-tac-toe sign right there. And just really having fun putting gray down, okay? What do you think? That looks like nothing. Because it's all going to come together in the end, I promise you. What we're going to do next is we're going to go into black. So that's going to take you a while. You might want to put me on pause. Have everybody design, if you're painting a group, have everybody design their wings till they're happy with them. If you think like it's too much gray, it's totally up to you. If you think you need to darken it up a little bit, go back into your pink. You can paint right over the gray and soften it up a little bit until you get the desired effect that you like, okay? So you might want to put me on pause now and kind of do some design work on your wings. The next color we're going to go into is black. Now black is what really is going to bring it all together. And I'm going to paint right out of the little container here. I swished my spray brush around in the water. I dried it off on my paper towel. That's what you do every time you're changing colors. And I am outlining the butterfly's face there. I'm actually making his face a little bit bigger. So I'm going outside of the trace lines and making him bigger. Making his head a little bit bigger. Totally up to you if you want to do that or not. Then I'm going to paint it in. You can outline the whole thing first and paint it in if you want, or paint it as you go along. A lot of people like to outline first, so I'll show you what I mean by that. Like outline the whole body. I outlined it, then I'm painting it in. Black is a really bold color. A little bit of black goes a long way. Fill in the black for the body first. Then I'm going to outline each of the wings. I'm using the flat of my brush because I want the line to be wide. So I'm not using the tip, I'm using the flat of my brush. And I'm not going inside of the pink, okay? I'm kind of outlining it. I want the wing to be as big as possible. So on the outside of the pink, that is how I am outlining the wing. Make sure you cover those trace lines. We don't want anybody to know you traced this masterpiece, okay? I need the line to be really wide too, because I gotta have room to put all those dots on there, you know what I mean? So it can't be just a little tiny bit of black. It needs to be pretty wide. Make it as wide as you want, but it needs to be pretty wide. Also examine each of the wings. Like this wing right here has a little bit of black going down into the wing. I'm just using the tip of the paintbrush and dragging black into the wing. If you like that effect. If you don't like that effect, don't do it, okay? Outlining the other wing the same way, using the flat of my paintbrush, making it a broad line, because I got to get all those dots on there, right? Now remember, I'm painting sideways, so it's kind of hard for me. But I'm getting it, I'm getting it, I'm getting it. Mm-hmm. And then with the very, very tip of your paintbrush, we're going to do all the designs later, okay? We're going to use the tip of the paintbrush for that. But these are broad lines. Remember, we got to have enough room to put all those dots on there. All the details. Flat on my paintbrush. If your paint's getting a little sticky, just put a little bit of water on it. I'm not having to use any water. I want the black to be really dark. You might want to put 2 coats on it. You might have to go over it a little bit to get the lines nice and steady the way you want them. I think my lines are pretty thick enough. Alright. Now with the very, very tip of my paintbrush, I'm going to outline the ribbon a little bit. And I say a little bit because it's just a little bit of black here and a little bit of black there. It's not really a hard line across the whole thing, you know? And you can look at that reference to kind of get what I mean by that. But I'm using just a little bit of black paint, making sure that you are aware that that's a breast cancer ribbon, okay? So take a look at your painting with your artist eye and see if you like all your lines, if you want to make them thicker or not with your artist eye. You might have to stand away from it a little bit. Like look at his head. Like I'm painting on an angle and I'm looking in the camera. I'm like, okay, his head is not like I want it, so, or her. So I'm going to work on it a little bit. Remember, I'm taking you 99% of the painting, okay? The land, and you do the rest on your own. Alright, so these wings should be just about dry now, and that's important because the next step, we're going to use that piece of chalk. Again, you might want to put me on pause so everybody catches up. But with the piece of chalk, what I'm doing is I'm going to do all the designs I want in the wing. So, like, I just did a squiggly there, but really the squiggly is over here. I don't know how it's working out on your screen. But I'm going to just randomly put some designs. If you want to know how to do that swirl, you start in the middle and then you just work your way out. And we do it in chalk, because if you don't like the design, you can just wipe it off with your fingertips. The thing is, it has to be dry. So if this isn't dry yet, and that's why we do things in a certain order so that the wings are dry by now. By the time you do all that outlining, the wings should really be dry. But if they're not, Wait for them to dry. You could take your tray and kind of fan it. You could blow on it. But we're just going to put some designs in the wings. There's like dots here and squiggly lines. And I'm not even trying to match the designs. I just did a couple squiggles there. After, and you need to draw the antenna. Up in a curl. Up from out of his head in a big swirl. Okay? Now, that small detail brush that you have is pretty good for doing all this design work. And if you want to put more designs, put more designs. If you have some fancy idea, you can Google some butterfly artwork and kind of see how you want the design to go. So I'm painting right on top of my chalk lines with that little detail brush, or you can use the other brush too. It's totally up to you. You might want to try both and see which one you like better. So now I'm putting another swirl down here. I'm not even following the designs that I have on my original painting. I'm following them a little bit, but I'm like, oh, I want a dot here. I want some dots there. Maybe I want some lines somewhere. Maybe I have a different pattern. Maybe you're thinking of something else. Make it fun. It's yours. It's your masterpiece. The antenna takes a steady hand, but you already chopped out the lines, right? You don't have to try to do one big swooping swirl. You can do a little bit at a time. And you might have to go over it again. So I'm just doing a little bit at a time, not trying to do all that brush stroke in one big swoop. Okay? And if you don't like the way that your antenna turn out when you do them, when you go over them, wait till they dry, put a little bit of white paint over it, and do it again. There are no mistakes. And if there's something that you don't like, it's pretty easy to fix. Alright, guess what? I've taken you about 90% through this painting. I know it doesn't look like much because you have to finish it. Should take you about another hour, hour and a half with your group or on your own. Turn on some music, get you some wine, and start working out all the details. I'm using that little tiny detail brush. I swished it around in my water to get the black off, and then I wiped it off with this blue paper towel. I'm going right into my white paint, and that's how you can put these little tiny dots everywhere. That's going to take you forever. That's why I'm going to stand on here and doing it with you. You can use the tip of your brush, or let me show you another trick. You can stick the back of your brush into the paint, and you can make dots that way too. They're a little bit more uniform, I think, if you use the tip of the paintbrush. You kind of just press down just a little bit. So that's how you do all those little dots. And if you look at the background of your painting on that reference sheet, there's like all kinds of little fun lines. Like it actually looks like the butterfly is moving a little bit. So at the very, very end, we're just going to put some white brush strokes around. You might even want to mix a little bit of gray and make some dark gray motion strokes around the butterfly. But you want to get some motion strokes in there. Kind of looks like he's flying. He's moving a little bit. So I'm doing all mine with white. You can mix a little bit of gray and do some motion lines like that. And don't forget these fun reflection lines in his little head right there. Just a little bit of white paint. Ah! See how it comes together? I love this part. Now, this painting is not finished. Lots of little dots, more details, cleaning up the antennae, going over them again, smoothing out those lines, putting some motion brush strokes in there. It's going to take you a little time. It should take you another hour and a half. Don't post a painting that looks like this. I'm kidding. If that's how you like it, guess what? If you like it, I love it. So please, please, please take your time. Get your drink on, turn your music up, complete your butterfly. Text me your pictures. On that little flyer at the very top is my phone number. Or you can email them at angeliquepaints@gmail.com. But I'd absolutely love to see your finished butterfly Wings of Hope. If you're interested in getting a poster, I'm going to show you the poster. Give me 1 second. Because it will help my friend. For the low price, if you can hear me, I don't usually go off screen, but this is important. This is the poster. It's 12 by 18, glossy finish, Winds of Hope. Right here, I sign it right here. And these are $20. Okay? So if you're interested in getting a poster, a large percent of the proceeds will help my friend that's in the midst of her battle right now. So I appreciate it. And if not, it's cool too. Thank you for painting with me. And maybe you're sharing your painting with someone who's in the midst of their battle, or maybe you're painting in honor of them. To all the survivors, may God bless you and continue to keep you in good health. And thank you all so much. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and that you paint with me again, okay? Thanks so much, everybody. I want to see your beautiful butterflies. Bye-bye. Thanks.